On Tuesday, the Kings were in Phoenix and looked like they had the game locked up. With 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Keegan Murray made an open three to put the Kings up 18. Since August 2020, teams have lost over 1,000 games in these situations. The Suns were also conveniently the worst fourth quarter team this season, as they have been outscored by 137 points during that time frame. But just 6 minutes later, Kevin Durant was celebrating a victory against the Kings.
So how did this comeback happen?
The Suns had started out slow, as Yusuf Nurkic had a hard time keeping up with the Kings' pick and roll actions. Because of the discrepancy in his foot speed compared to the Kings, the pick and rolls forced Nurkic to make a decision between the ball handler and Sabonis. This allowed Sabonis to dominate the game early, as he was able to get layups around the rim. When Nurkic was guarding Sabonis one-on-one, he was essentially non-existent, as Sabonis scored over him multiple times. As a result, the Suns trailed the Kings early and often. On the opposite end of the court, the Suns had a hard time generating offense in the pick and roll. When Devin Booker or Bradley Beal tried to get into the paint, the Kings smothered them, which forced them to pick up their dribble earlier than they would want them to. Booker and Beal settled for tough mid-range jumpers, and this was how the Suns had struggled for 3.5 quarters. So after Sabonis hits this post-up to put the Kings up 19 early in the fourth, Frank Vogel decided to come with his first big adjustment by assigning Kevin Durant on Sabonis. Since the Kings were beating the Suns with their movement offense, having Durant at the 5 allowed the Suns to switch more frequently and use their speed to take away advantages.
But because they went super small, Sabonis tested Durant by putting his back to the basket, but KD was able to hold his ground against him.
The Kings then elected to run the pick and roll, but Durant is quick enough to react to Monk and Sabonis, and he's able to block the shot. This leads to a run out, which is a sign of things to come. The Kings then try to run the dribble handoff action to create confusion for the Suns, but with Durant's length to disrupt any opening and the Suns' extra speed to recover faster, everything is covered, which forces the Kings into isolation. With Durant at the 5, the Suns were able to disrupt the Kings' main actions that had killed them earlier in the game. But in spite of all of that, the Suns were still down 18 with 6 minutes left to go, so they needed to score quickly. Because of Durant's versatility as a 5, this allowed Frank Vogel to put Eric Gordon in the game to create 5-out spacing and force the Kings to match Sabonis with one of the Suns' shooters. Simultaneously, the Kings subbed out De'Aaron Fox for Malik Monk, which becomes very important shortly. Vogel's adjustment worked immediately, as Bradley Beal gets Sabonis on him with a switch. The Kings don't want Beal isolating Sabonis, so they bring extra help, and Grayson Allen hits a wide open 3. But the Kings' real problems were on the offensive end. The Suns switch to pick and roll, and Durant's length forces Monk to pass out of a shot, which then gets deflected. The Suns turn this into a fast break and a Durant dunk. Because the Suns were scoring so fast off the Kings' poor offense, Mike Brown calls timeout to decide whether to stick with Sabonis, since he's worried about the state of their offense. In the huddle, he eventually decides to bench Sabonis, and you can see Sabonis say, "You want me not in?" And Mike Brown says, "Not right now." He responds with, "Why? That's plain unfair." And as Mike Brown tries explaining it, Sabonis just laughs and sits his ass on the bench. The reason Brown decides to sit Sabonis is because he wanted to bring back Fox to have another ball handler to attack the Suns' switching defense. Fox does that by attacking Allen immediately and turns the corner, but the spacing on the wing is poor, which allows Durant to come over. Fox's pass subsequently gets picked off, which creates another fast break, and more importantly, a mismatch with Kevin Huerter on Durant. This prompts Fox to double, which leaves Allen open, and he swings it, which creates a KD open 3 to cut the lead to 9. The Kings try the dribble handoff this time, but Barnes instead of Sabonis is the facilitator. Because he's not as adept as Sabonis in terms of staying patient on these dribble handoffs, he forces it by setting an illegal pick, and the Kings turn the ball over. Because of those 2 bad possessions and a chance to set the Kings' defense in the half court, Mike Brown decides to bring Sabonis back in the game. To protect Sabonis from the pick and rolls, the Kings run a 3-2 zone, which allows Sabonis to stay in the paint and keep the ball in front. Durant misses a semi-contested 3, but the main problem still remains. The Kings didn't know how to attack the Suns' defense. With a big mismatch down low, Sabonis could go at Eric Gordon, but he instead decides to run the dribble handoff with Monk, who's able to turn the corner. But with 3 Suns following him, Monk gets blocked, which leads to another run out, and Bradley Beal cuts the lead to 7. At this point, the Suns were able to take away the Kings' main offensive actions, which left them with little answers. Fox tries to isolate KD, but he takes a sidestep 3 and gets blocked. The Suns run again, and Durant hits another wide open 3 to cut the lead to 4. But Malik Monk looked like he was going to control the game by getting Sabonis an easy layup to bring the lead back up to 6. On the other end, he forces Beal to go out of bounds, which gives the Kings a prime opportunity to close the game. Until he turns the ball over as him and Fox are not on the same page, which gives the Suns their last hope. With the Kings finally able to set up in the half court again, they decide to run man-to-man and match Sabonis with Eric Gordon. The Suns counter by hunting Sabonis in the pick and roll. Since the Kings don't want Sabonis guarding Booker, they send a double, which opens up the 3 for Eric Gordon to cut the lead to 3. After Fox misses another 3, the ball ricochets to the sideline and Allen picks it up. For some reason, Sabonis tries to pressure Booker in the backcourt. He eventually slips, which gives Booker a head start that leads to another fast break, and Eric Gordon gets another wide open 3 to tie the game. Seeing that the Kings are unorganized, Mike Brown decides to call 4-5, which is a horn set to allow Fox to decide who to hunt. He elects to go with Grayson Allen, but as he's done in the last few possessions, he settles and he misses. Sabonis makes a boneheaded error by fouling KD, which allows the Suns to go to the line with 20 seconds to go, and Durant makes both free throws to give the Suns a 2-point lead. The Kings come back down with the same play, but a little bit of a wrinkle. Instead of having Sabonis in the action, they put him in the corner to bring Durant away from the paint. This gives Fox more room to attack the paint, and he gets a much better shot this time to tie the game at 117. On the Suns' most important possession, they interestingly go away from hunting Sabonis and give Durant the ball instead. The Kings bail out Durant by switching Fox onto him, and he fouls Durant on the jump shot. Fox tries arguing the call, but it's a clear foul, and Durant knocks down both free throws to put the Suns back up 2. On the final possession, the Kings try running a play for Monk, and he misses it off the backboard to seal the comeback. And that's how the Suns were able to come back down 18 with 6 minutes left to go. Putting Kevin Durant at the 5 disrupted everything that the Kings did offensively, and this allowed Vogel to insert Eric Gordon to put shooters everywhere and gave the Suns what they needed to pull out a miraculous win. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.